head, and there he goes. Abyss gonna clean him up.
Olaf goes down. Everyone's just gonna line up here for Lazzy. He's gonna find himself the Quadra. Give it to him. Pentakill.
Priestley with the quad feed.
Gets the ace. Available, just spin to win all over.
That game was insane.
Hello, Saints Nation. Welcome back to the Saints Gaming CA channel as we are about to just get started with a Collegiate League of Legends matchup against the University of Waterloo versus St. Clair College, of course. My name is Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danners. Joining me for the very first time here on the cast, we have Eileen O'Connell. Eileen, how are you doing?
I'm great, thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me here. I'm glad to be here and looking forward to tonight's game, tonight's match.
Absolutely.
Like it's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. And looking at the teams themselves, this is going to be an interesting one, like you said, because taking a look at some of the ranks anyway is a little bit interesting, to say the least. Of course, for our squad here on the St. Clair side, our lowest player ranked is a Platinum, and then our highest is a Diamond 1. Looking at the side of University of Waterloo, they are loaded with diamonds, and they have a master as well currently for this season, unless it's the TFT ranks baiting me. But that's always a possibility, of course. But still, looking forward to this one. In theory, and on paper, I think St. Clair should be the underdogs, but it won't be by much. So we should very well have a very exciting matchup for your very first broadcast here with us tonight.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Good. Definitely looking forward to it as well. We got the players into the lobby, just getting a couple people sorted out real quick. But a couple things that I do want to look at in regards to the Saints team compositions. Of course, we had the opportunity to see League of Legends team a couple times each week now, which is definitely quite the difference compared to past semesters. So now we actually kind of know what some of the champions are that the team might be picking up. Like Kubra, I know as soon as we turned on the stream, somebody hopped into the chat and was like, "Where's the Gnar? Gnar, give me the Gnar," because of course that's Kubra's go-to up into the top lane. But of course, could very well pull something else different out. Looking forward to seeing what Active Force, Frez, Lazzy, and Mansfo can pull out as well. But I'm also kind of nervous looking at the side of the University of Waterloo, of course, because we are going to introduce the squad, actually. We do have Xenoblade Guy up in the top lane, Dark X in the jungle, Quatch Daddy in the mid lane, YNS on the AD carry role alongside Shinoa. And other than the ranks that I see on screen, I know absolutely nothing about them, to be completely honest with you. So it'll be a little bit of a mystery for us to figure out here tonight.
Yeah, that's two of us then.
Absolutely. Sometimes is the way of Collegiate, where things tend to be a little bit more of a mystery. But we are going to be right around the corner, actually, for our first pick and ban phase. So without further ado, I want to throw out a couple thank yous to start things off. First, of course, being the sponsors. Of course, big thank you to St. Clair College, the Zeckelman School of Business and IT, EC Outlet, St. Clair College Alumni Association, Tim Hortons, and the St. Clair SRC. Of course, the St. Clair Saints varsity sports team would not be possible without your help, so thank you for your support. Then, of course, a big thank you to everybody who's already tuning in here to the broadcast. Always a pleasure having match after match, crazy months at a time where there's like a match that feels like every single day of the week, which actually will be very shortly. But so much esports action, and now, Eileen, you get your piece of it here tonight. Now, in regards to League itself, so how long personally have you been involved in League, whether it be playing or watching it casually? Like, how long have you been into the scene?
Not too long, thanks, Dan. It just, piqued my interest when I started at St. Clair in the esports program. And I played a little bit there. Not saying I'm a great player, definitely not ranked. But I find that the gameplay has a good level of complexity for me. So I really do enjoy watching.
Absolutely, and definitely awesome, especially like since you're in the esports program and whatnot. I'm sure a lot of these esports titles are like either for the first time showing up or like you're saying, like touched on, but maybe not ranked, but that's a-okay, as we are actually about to hop in to the pick and ban phase for game number 1. The wait is over. Let's see what happens here. Looking at the matchup, of course, between St. Clair College and University of Waterloo. First bans on the board. The Camille going to be taken away from Xenoblade Guy. Not going to let him have that. And no Gator. No Gator for Kubra. Gonna take the Gragas off the board as well. Looks like you're, of course, just overall rather dominant champion right now. Same thing with the Olafs. Constantly seeing Olaf in the jungle. So take him off the board. And curious to see how St. Clair will take it off next. Sure enough, Udyr. We've been seeing this a lot more often during pro matches and in Collegiate as well. Just becomes an unstoppable like bullet, basically. Try and deal with. It's an absolute nightmare for AD carry players. Fair enough, taking the Kai'Sa away, what you often will see is whoever is on the blue side, they tend to first pick that Kai'Sa over to their AD carry, and we know Lassie is quite strong with that champion. So, wise of the University of Waterloo to take that away. But they left Active Forces Nunu. Okay, this will be cool then. Guys, we did get to see it a little bit. I believe it was on Monday, and had a fantastic early game start. But one thing that I'm going to be worried about watching the St. Clair team today is the 2 games they had on Monday versus Wichita Wolves. They got themselves a very strong lead early, and then they absolutely just spilled it all over spaghetti, like all over the ground during the mid game. And we gotta hope for the St. Clair side of things they picked that one back up in terms of practice. Felios and Thresh going to be the first picks. Just gonna straight up pick the bot lane this time here for University of Waterloo. No surprises, so now Miensfo and Lassie can pick whatever they want, knowing exactly where those champions are going. And this might be a first if this gets locked in. This is going to be the first time we're going to see Lassie pick up Jinx, a personal favorite of mine. But for the longest time, you just don't ever really see her, considering she does a ton of damage, but she has to really like stand still. She doesn't really have a lot of mobility in team fights, which a lot of these assassins can really cause a problem for. And then that last one is definitely a Miensfo pick if I have ever seen it. Picking up the Leona. See him time and time again. Helps his bot lane, helps his mid lane. He's all the way up in the top lane sometimes. Just because you're the support down in the bot lane doesn't mean you have to stay there. And Miensfo will be looking to make some plays in this match. Now the Graves and the Anivia taken off the board here. Malphite as well. So Graves has just been consistent, to say the least, here for jungler picks. Relatively strong. The Anivia banned away from Frez. Frez absolutely loves playing that champion. Basically picks it up whenever he can. Hoping for Anivia buffs. But right now, Waterloo going to take that one away. No Hecarim either for the junglers as well. So we're going to have to dig deep into that jungler pool, considering so many of them have gotten banned away. And Nidalee might be the selection here. That might be Dark X picking up that character, or that hero champion. So many terminologies, and still just stumbling away. Oh, don't you dare. Of course, this character, brand new to League of Legends. And are they going to test my knowledge how frequently I keep track of these things? Oh my god, they did it. Okay. So I'm laughing at this one because on our Twitter, our marketer, Chris, he's like, he put Jax originally in a thumbnail. He's like, oh, I bet you won't pick Jax, or come on, pick Jax for me. Saints never did. So now they picked in the thumbnail, it's like, oh, they put Kiana in there. It's like, oh, I bet you won't pick Kiana. Thing is, that's Frez's like favorite champion of all time. So now that's getting picked up alongside the Mordekaiser here. So the Saints lineup all set up and ready to go. It's just a matter of figuring out what is left on the University of Waterloo side of things. And Aatrox going to be locked in. So full teams exposed, ready to go here. Gonna run it down here and see who's playing what. So this is going to be the first time that we get to see a good handful of these champions actually here. Cooper 3 going to be picking up the Mordekaiser for the first time all season. Active Force, I mean, it's Active Force and his Nunu. It's just a standard thing. Frez, first time we're seeing him on Kiana, but it's definitely, like I said before, it was a favorite of his. So looking forward to seeing how he pilots that champion. Lazy on the Jinx for the first time this season, and then Yensfo picking up Leona. No real surprise there. On the side of the University of Waterloo, we do of course have Xenoblade guy. Sure enough, Xenoblade's got big swords. You're going to pick a champion with a gigantic sword. Aatrox going to be pick there. Nidalee for Dark X, Galio for Quatch, Aphelios for YNS, and then Thresh is going to be played by Shinoa. So champions are all picked. Now it's just a matter of waiting on the delay. Looking forward to the match at hand, as it should, in theory, be quite the brawly matchup. And
Yeah.
is there anything that you've you noticed with this champion select that you're like interested in seeing there, Lee?
I'm just interested in seeing how our St. Clair Saints do tonight, because I did watch the match you were referring to the other night, and they did get off to a really good start, and then all of a sudden they were just like not that great, and then the last moment came back up, and I was like, wow, that was pretty exciting. So there were different champions then, so it'll be interesting to see how they perform with these ones tonight. Having never watched Waterloo, that will be interesting for me as well.
Man, I tell you what, this Saint squad, if they're good at anything, it's absolutely giving me a heart attack day in and day out whenever it's streaming their matches, because they like you did say there, from the fact that in that that Monday match where it looked like they should have just been able to run it, like have a 25-minute game nice and quick, clean it up. No, they tossed it in the mid game. They got caught out a bunch of times. And then it always came down to one team fight, which as a viewer standpoint and the commentary standpoint, absolutely exciting. But in terms of efficiency and like actually like improving your record, you're definitely rolling the dice with that kind of style. So I know Shadi Zedmental, the coach of the league team, has been stressing to make sure that their mid game has been cleaned up. And we'll have to see if that does come to fruition here tonight versus Waterloo, because they're going to need it. Waterloo are no slouches.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be a good one tonight.
Sure, for sure. Just a couple moments, of course, still until we do hop into the matchup. I know personally, one thing other than seeing how the Saints managed to clean up their mid game and how that ends up going down, one thing I'm interested in, of course, is seeing Frez's Kiana. It's the first time we're actually seeing it in a competitive setting other than like ranked solo queue, because for the longest time Zeddy was just like, no, you're not playing this champion. The coach before that, Blazin, it's like, no, you can't play this champion, it doesn't fit. Even now I don't necessarily think Kiana fits right now in the meta, but you never know with somebody as experienced on the champion like Frez's. Looking forward to seeing how he turns that one up. He's going up against Quatch's Galio, however. Whereas Galio, very, very tanky boy. You're not going to be blowing him up very quickly. So I'll have to see, because I know Frez likes to get aggressive, but that champion pick might shut it down. Just loading into the swing of things, of course. Oh, I am sounding exhausted, but I am extremely excited for the match at hand. Do not get me wrong. It's just been an absolute crazy bunch of days of back-to-back casts, but I am not complaining in the slightest. And if we're going based off of skins, Saints have more skins, so they should in theory get the win, right? That's what Riot would like you to think, so you buy more skins. But no, that's not how this works here, and we're going to see just a second hopping in. Of course, big thank you to everybody already tuning into the match. Looking forward to this one between St. Clair and the University of Waterloo. And it's the first time also getting to see the Lassie hyper carry Jinx if this one can actually go in his favor. He's been doing a fantastic job all season. Pretty much every game I see, he's in a position where he's getting like anywhere to 8 to 15 kills. Is an absolute machine in regards to getting eliminations. But here we have it. Enough lollygagging on my ends here. Let's actually get some action. Game number 1 underway. So I'm going to ask you a question here, Eileen. Do you think that we're going to get an early brawl, level 1, just charge at it? Or do you think they're going to just stay to the wayside and maybe just play it nice and safe?
I think until they see how Waterloo is going to do, what they're going to do, I think that we might see it be that they take their time about it. No, just kind of sussing each other out.
Definitely.
I see we're all...
And definitely fair enough. It looks like the Saints are doing exactly what you were saying, where they were going to take it nice and safe. We do see what I would call the line of scrimmage, where there's one person of the Saints basically at all openings of the river. However, looking at the side of Waterloo, they're kind of grouped up right here. This makes me think that they want to go for an invade of some sort, charge on in. But it does actually look like maybe it is going to be a fake. Not going to end up doing it. They're going to bait me in this situation. And we're going to go pretty much business as usual with Dark X probably going to start at that blue buff. Or actually, no, he went back with Xenoblade guy. My bad. So yeah, he's going up to the top to get the red buff first. And then it looks like Active Force will be doing the same. Crawling all the way back to the bot side to go get that red buff. One thing I'm definitely going to be worried about here is this bot lane. Of course, since YNS and Shinoa don't have to help the jungler get the buff to get him boosted and get him moving, they're going to be in lane first, which could, in theory, let them kill some more minions quicker, which would then give them level 2 faster, and then would allow them to have more abilities, in turn making things much more aggressive, give them a bit of an opening, maybe try and take a chunk out of Miensfo and Lassie. But speaking about chunks getting taken here, this Kiana is getting beat on pretty early here into this laning phase, already down to about half of its HP, forced, I think, to use a potion.
I didn't see if there was any potion taken there, Dan, but I did see it was a little bit slow there.
Oh, no, not quite. Sure enough, right there, we did see the bot lane from the side of the University of Waterloo. They did hit level 2 first, but because the way the minions were, they were just getting ready to shove in to the Saints. It actually kind of blocked whatever plan they were trying to do, so they could not get aggressive in the slightest. So any sort of big damage that the Saints were worried about may go to the wayside. You do see, okay, Frez is starting to trade a little bit better in that mid lane now too. Just get himself 2 levels, and now he's going tit for tat there with Quatch Daddy. Well, Active Force making an appearance up in the top lane. We did see on Monday, basically, Active Force might as well set up a damn tent in that top lane. Was always there with Kubra, constantly making ganks, and was very successful at getting Kubra up ahead. Where, to be honest, like, he's mainly supposed to be the tank here and take up as much damage as possible. However, you get him ahead, I mean, he could still do a bunch of damage too and just become an additional threat that the University of Waterloo has to worry about. Okay, some big damage coming out here, actually on to YNS. He may be forced to burn the flash. He is, in fact, going to have to do so. Not going to be ignited anymore. The slow onto Shinoa. One more shot. Lassie going to find first blood. Miensfo setting him up nicely. And And where's that teleport coming? Why in the world? This is a bit of an overextension, I think, here from Quatch Daddy. Miensfo nearly getting taken down, but Quatch nearly going down as well. YNS is so low, it may be a bad idea. Kubra makes the teleport play as well. YNS goes down, and the bot lane from the University of Waterloo is in shatters. How Miensfo managed to get out of there with his life is beyond me, but very nicely done, nonetheless there. Considering there's so many teleports blown too. Like Xenoblade guy, I think he tried to go in, but he must have gotten stunned out or something, because I don't recall. Or no, he may have used a teleport to go back to lane actually. So, like Quatch Daddy went in, was already like half health though, so by the time he showed up in that bot lane, Lazi and Miensfo just basically turned and burned him. In perfect fashion. Now YNS, seeing his partner in trouble, felt obligated to kind of come back into the fight even though he was low himself. And Kubra just grabs him, pulls him aside, and gives him a whack for his troubles. And now that's going to be 2 kills in the favor of St. Clair. Now with the 1 kill and the 1 assist into the pocket of that bot lane for St. Clair, they could do a bunch of damage. Meanwhile, a bunch of damage actually coming out here from Quatch Daddy. I always keep forgetting how much damage the Galio can do. But now Actiforce, he may have got himself a little bit greedy. He's going to be hooked on in. Dark X going to find himself the kill in this spot. But now Lassie and Miensfo, they might have to run here. As much as Lassie probably wants to fight this, considering he'd do a ton of AoE damage, it may be too little too late. He's going to actually make a run for it, however, right through the team after picking up another kill onto YNS. And he's going to be able to get out by the skin of his teeth. A good decision to just straight up commit to the attack. And of course, when Jinx gets a part of a kill or an assist, she gets all hyped up and just gets a massive speed boost, which was able to get her out of dodge, the hit and run, and make YNS's life just that much more difficult.
Seeing what we're gonna get to here.
I do have ourselves a bit of a standstill as of this moment, of course. There is a dragon available if one of the teams do want to opt for it, but they probably want to find themselves some sort of opening before actually making their way to it. Don't want to find themselves in a spot where they can go 5-on-5. I mean, St. Clair probably doesn't mind, considering they have the lead right here, right now, and it is on their carry, of course, on to Lassie. So we know that the Saints have damage. And, of course, Waterloo knows that, too. They really do not want to deal with that. As we see Actiforce making another trip to the top lane to make Xenoblade Guy's life a little bit difficult. And Miensfo, remember how I was saying that he's supposed to be bot lane, but he still shows up top on occasion? Well, he's going to come on up there and help secure that kill, root him into place. And now, that top turret is looking juicy.
And Dark X is coming in now to try and fight back. Here comes some more from Waterloo. Let's see if they can save it.
Oh, they're going to try and do everything they can to actually stop this. However, it doesn't look good for them. It's going to be Actiforce finding the 1 kill on the Quatch Daddy. Or actually, it's Cooper finding Quatch Daddy. But now, Actiforce extremely low, baited, going to get absolutely smoked by Kubra. And Xenoblade's guy is going to go down as well. Triple kill over to Kubra 3. He has 5 kills already, and it's not even 10 minutes. Oh, wise choice there from Actiforce as well. He killed off a bunch of the members, might as well go for the Rift Herald. Of course, drop him into a lane and he will absolutely demolish turrets with a solid, strong headbutt. Basically takes half the health of a turret in like one shot, so it's absolutely valuable to get that Active Force. We'll see where he decides to use that as well. It can also be used as a bit of a baiting tactic if they want to put the Rift Herald into one lane, make Waterloo deal with that as they then go take the dragon or something like that. It's always possible here. And one of the things
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to mention that one of the things that I mentioned earlier during while we were setting up for the broadcast was how the Waterloo squad, sure they have like a couple diamonds, sure they have a Masters player, but it is extremely crazy how much different the ranked solo queue environment is compared to this Collegiate team's 5-on-5 environment, where like coordination strategies are just that much more prevalent compared to ranked solo queue or duo queue, where you're just hoping to God that your teammates just don't throw.
He just got a level up.
Yep, keeping himself all tied up at least there. He may be hurting in regards to having no kills or no assists, but at least he's been able to keep up on the level fronts, so his abilities are going to be at least that much, or even, to say the least, compared to Frez's. And of course, nicely done there from Active Force, being able to clean that dragon up without any contest. And we are going to go tower diving. Let's see what happens here. Shinoa is going to get pretty much blown up to smithereens with one more shot. It is going to go down. It's going to be Frez who does take that out. Unfortunately there for Active Force, he kind of pinched himself away to a point where he could not fight. It was like 1v2. Kubra with a bit of an over-aggressive teleport. And uh-oh, this is looking rather familiar. But Lassie, just with the sneaky little flash auto attack, going to at least make the trade here 1-for-1. So the dive did not go into their favor, but at least it wasn't completely all lost since Lassie picked up one. And I was saying before, while we were waiting for the spectator delay, how I was worried that like St. Clair would find themselves in a position similar to Monday, where they would get themselves a lead and then just start making really over-aggressive plays and throwing the lead away. That was almost one of them. It was extremely close, but at least it did end up going 1-for-1 in the end. But they got to be careful. I know they want to dive. I know they want to push their lead, but they have to be very careful with how they actually do that. Active Force with the drive-by. Kenny finds Xenoblade, going to get at least a piece out of them, but he's under tower. They don't want to take that fight. Wisely so, especially they did spot Dark X on a ward, so actually we might be in for a brawl in a brief moment here. Right now, Waterloo thinks they have the jump, but they don't realize that Frez's Kiana is right around the corner. Quatch Daddy is almost in ulting range as well. Could show up out of nowhere, and they're actually going to pop the Rift Herald. Shelly coming into play. That tower is not long for this world. There it goes. Get all of that extra gold in your pocket, and rather than take the fight, they are going to back off here. I like this play.
Looks like they made a few changes since the last one. Going about it a bit differently.
I'm extremely happy to see that to be the case. It's always so easy for a team to fall back into old habits and just push the go button and just keep attacking without thinking. But you can tell there's a bit more of a methodical play at hand here with this Saint squad compared to Monday, and how quickly they've been able to adjust. It's only been 2 days, yet it already seems like a different team right now.
I agree with you there, Dan, that it does seem to have a bit of a different feel already than what I was watching there on Monday. They seem to be, communication and gameplay seems to be a little bit tighter today.
And all that adds up with is me having a little bit less of a heart attack as this game goes into the mid phase. As at this point, they'd be going back and forth, and I'd be, obviously not on the camera, but I'd be just clutching my head like, no, why? Why is this happening? But not this time. So far, so good. Granted, this lead is only about 5,000. It's still definitely within reach here. Nidalee gets strong, Xenoblade guys, Aatrox, and basically the team on the side of University of Waterloo in general will continue to get like much stronger as this game goes on. But at least this team right here for St. Clair is not strictly an early game team compared to some of the ones we saw on Monday. Putting Lassie on the Jinx is basically like having a Vayne, I feel like. The later the game goes on, it's just going to be absolutely disgusting how much damage he's going to be able to put out. And having 3 kills already means that Lassie's already a threat going into these fights. YNS and Shinoa have to be careful. It looked like it was about to be party time in the bot lane, as all of the Saints were nice and close, as they're probably going to be thinking about the Dragon within the next minute or so. The Dragon will be up and for the taking. Saints already have the first one, was a Wind Drake that they took a little bit earlier when Active Force was just able to sneak it essentially by himself. Good little combo there from Lassie, but you can see, even though got the combo off, still not a ton of damage onto Shinoa. Granted, Shinoa is a little bit tankier than some of the members on this side of University of Windsor, and Frez is actually getting feisty here onto Quatch. Can he find up a follow-up alongside Active Force? Absolute Zero, not going to quite get the kill, and they have to run. Xenoblade guy came down to assist his partner in the mid lane. Quatch is going to get out with his life unless Lassie wants to take the shot, which of course his ulti is just a free, like, a missile that goes across the entire map. Can find some snipes with it, but it's going to opt to hang on to it. No snipes, just take the Dragon. Dragon 2 going over to St. Clair. With that bot lane turret going down, this is going to make things really scary now for YNS and Shinoa to get any sort of farm in the slightest. They're already below the threshold that Lassie is setting in terms of creep score. It's 151 to 131, down 20, and then they have to worry that every time they come down to this bot lane that they're going to possibly get jumped on. YNS nearly going down. Shinoa was able to tank that Jinx ulti, that rocket, of course. Lassie, he has to be careful, but does have some backup if somebody decides to jump. They could actually find themselves in position to take themselves another turret, and they're going to dang well make sure that they complete that. Nicely done. That entire bot lane now completely without turrets up until the inhibitor itself. And that's going to be scary for YNS. Might have to think about going to another lane or just having a support constantly ward their own jungle, otherwise could get jumped on. University of Waterloo at this point basically just on pause. They're a little bit behind, of course, looking like 6,000 or so gold now at this point. The lead for the Saints slowly but surely getting larger and larger. And now this is also difficult here for YNS. Has to deal with Frez. They does have some backup coming in. Dark X looking to possibly make the play, but Frez can do a good chunk of damage. Although that is a massive group of Waterloo players coming down to the bot lane to try and assist. So while they all move down bot, Lassie and Actiforce are here just absolutely shredding this turret down, getting themselves another one, some additional gold in the pocket for them. And this Jinx is just getting crazier and crazier. Actiforce's Nunu just getting tankier and tankier, just everything going into the favor of the Saints right here, right now. But I've seen them in this position before. Just about to hit that 20-minute mark, so the Rift Herald will be gone, and it's going to be Baron Nashor back into play. So, could be the next objective, considering how far the Saints are in this position. Xenoblade guy just forced to pop the ulti and flash away completely. Did not want anything to do with Cooper 3 in that spot. Man, I like the fact that right now this University of Waterloo squad, like they were taking it slow, but doing a good job of at least not overextending themselves, only really farming whenever it was actually like wise to them to do so. They knew they weren't going to get jumped on. Saints might be getting themselves a little bit over aggressive here. They did kind of put themselves in a position to get jumped on. Actiforce a little bit separated away from the team. And they do force Shelly to come play. So at some point here, the University of Waterloo must have picked up a Rift Herald that I did not quite notice. Saints are going to be able to shred that before the actual tower goes down, so that mid tower is still going to be safe for at least a little bit longer. Now, Dragon on the board here too. At this point, the University of Waterloo, they want to pick this one up if at all possible. They do not want the Saints to get number 3 to threaten Dragon number 4. But in return, the Saints just go towards the Baron instead. Get the big buff and then try and push forward down that mid lane. Right around the corner, about a quarter HP left. Is Waterloo going to get there on time? I don't think they're going to be able to. Going to be secured by Actiforce, and we're going to have ourselves a battle. Frez right in the middle of everything, keeping himself shielded and everything all good so far. Right now, Lassie in the background. Banso did end up going down, trying to save his AD carry, but that may be enough time for the strengths to pop off. Lassie, one more shot onto Shinoa would definitely take him down. Quatch Daddy getting extremely low as well. Cooper going to take care of Shinoa, and Dark X is the only one left on the side of the University of Waterloo, and everyone else has dropped. Saint's going to be able to do a ton of damage now.
Drills another turret. Thrusting forward.
They might be able to walk away with this inhibitor. No, they probably can't, actually. They're going to walk away with the inhibitor turrets. They're not going to quite take it, but still, good damage done. Do see a couple pings coming out on the minimap now on the side of the Saints. We're looking at either the bot lane or that that mid inhibitor, of course. With that being up and alive, they want to take that down, get some super minions in the mid lane, putting some extra added pressure onto that Nexus. This is going to be a tough one now here for the University of Waterloo. They feel like they're getting poked out. They have to deal with a baroned up St. Clair, and they do not want to take this fight. They're just going to let the inhibitor fall. So Saint's going to then be able to rotate probably on over to that top lane. It's the only other turret that's not in the base of the University of Waterloo. Take that down and then try to just keep on pushing forward while they have this buff. They're going to try and turn onto Cooper, however. Xenoblade guy going to get himself quite low. One more huge shot coming out here from Cooper and nearly taking him down. And he's actually able to really play around here with Dark X as well. There is a Quatch Daddy behind him who's going to possibly be able to finish this one off. But actually Cooper is slowly getting shields. Not going to happen. This time, Quatch Daddy is going to be able to find that shot down onto Cooper, giving him his first death of this game. Now it could be a rough battle if St. Clair kind of overextends. Actiforce getting smoked. Lazi in the background trying to find one. He does actually find the one onto Chinoa. Where's his damage going to go next? It's looking for Xenoblade guy. Not going to quite find the kill, however. Lazi nearly getting taunted. He is going to get taunted, actually. This could be trouble. Saints with a bit of a bad fight. And now, granted, there's still the inhibitor down in the middle. They got up to the inhibitor turret up in the top. But that was a lot of bounties going into the pockets of the University of Waterloo players. And it could be the start of something, but they need a lot more than just that in order to get back into this game. But I'm happy to see that the University of Waterloo is still fighting away, able to ace St. Clair in that fight. Next objective on the board will be another dragon. Saints, of course, want to move this forward to get closer and closer to their dragon soul. And if they take this, of course, that'll be number 3 in the pocket. But this could also be a good opportune time for a fight if they can catch out Lazi. They do knock him up. However, Lazi gets himself to the same place. Actiforce going to find the dragon. Cooper going one-on-one with Dark X is going to lose that battle, actually. But then Ferez does find Y and S. It's a good pickup there from him. He's going to see Lazi find himself 1, find himself 2, find himself a 3rd. And he's going to keep on going here. Does Lazi have the rocket available from downtown? Headshot! Take him down. Quadra kill for Lazi. That should be the game. And sure enough, the screen freezes as per usual for this this patch for whatever reason as we throw it back to us. So that does mean that this match has completed. St. Clair going to take this one in a relatively convincing fashion as we throw it back to us here, of course. Now, it just felt so much better watching the Saints squad play, considering they got the lead and they actually hung on to it. What a combo. So they made it look good there. Now, Eileen, what did you think about that first match, though?
I thought it was great to see St. Clair keeping that pressure on, not giving. It was just really good to see. It was a different type of play that we had going on there from Waterloo. You know, continually trying to regroup and find a way to shut St. Clair down, and St. Clair just didn't seem to be giving them any chances at all. They kept it together and really pressed on well.
Other than that one awkward fight that kind of happened in the base near the end there, where they did kind of ace themselves, overextending for, I believe it was a kill around the inhibitor, and they all got wiped. They wiped the once, so sure, it wasn't a perfect game, but it was way less mistakes compared to what we've seen on Monday, and an improving Saints squad is what we like to see here. Now, of course, we're going to be throwing it to a very quick break unless you have any final thoughts on that matchup as we get ready to set up the lobby for Game 2.
No, we'll get ready for Game 2. I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
Sounds good. We'll be hopping into it within about 5 minutes or so. So don't go anywhere, and we'll get to see if Saints can take this one in a 2-0 fashion, make it a quick night for us, or if University of Waterloo will fight right back. Stay tuned to find out.